Hey everyone, welcome to another virtual jiu-jitsu class, Fundamentals. Today we're going to continue on the theme of passing the guard. I know that we've gone over a couple so far this month. Today we're going to look at a combination, one of my favorite combinations or chains where we chain a knee cut pass with an X pass. And I will go over the details for both of those, what to look for, and some principles to keep in mind so that you can recognize these situations regardless of the position or a specific move you're trying to do. Joined by Marianne, it's going to be my uke. I'll be using her to demonstrate, and then she'll be having a couple rounds to go through it as well, using me as the uke. So we're going to get started. Marianne, why don't you start sitting down with your back to the camera. I'm going to be starting on my feet. So a lot of times in jiu-jitsu, we'll find ourselves in a position like this. We have a grounded opponent. We're standing over them. But we need to pass. We need to get our body above her hip line. So our main goal right now is to pass her legs. When we first start, we're going to be a little ways away from her. I don't want to be so close without any intention to act yet that I allow her to get a grip, right, or start getting a collar, lapel, and breaking me down. I don't want to step in and let her get like a De La Riva hook. I need to move with intention. So right now, we're both out of range of each other. When I move in, I need to know what I'm doing. A mistake I see a lot of people make sometimes is they get real close, like they're getting ready to get a grip on something, and they'll bend way down at their waist. If I bend at my waist, I'm just begging for her to get a lapel and start getting control of the situation. So as I approach, I want to be squatted down, bending at the knees rather than the hips, and I'm going to move in here. Now, Marianne, if you turn sideways for a second. So when Marianne's in this position, she knows what she's doing. She's not going to want to be tilting back. When she's tilting back like this, she's essentially begging to be knocked onto her back. When she's sitting down like this, she wants to be leaning forward with her elbows between her knees like so. This is a nice strong position for her, and it's going to make it harder for me to knock her onto her back. So let's come back around. So I'm squatted down, elbows in tight. As I move in, I need to disrupt her a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push her forehead just a little bit. Come on back, don't fall back yet. I'm going to bop her on the forehead a little bit to distract her and help get her to lean back a little. As I do that, I'm going to bend down further, grab her ankles, and push her down onto her back. Now, as I do this, here, I need to close the distance and move in quickly. Right now, her legs are still between us, and her legs are longer than my arms. So she can start to get a foot on the hip and keep me at bay. What I need to do as soon as I knock her over, I want to get control of the foot on the side I'm going to pass. A lot of people will grab the ankle for whatever reason. This isn't optimal, particularly because she can start to pummel her feet and start getting that grip off of her ankle. But if I can grab her foot, especially by the knuckles here, it's a much better, stronger grip for me, and it's going to make it harder for her to get free of it. So I grab the knuckles of her feet, and I'm going to push her heel to her butt, step between her legs with my lead leg, and squat down. I want my weight on the top of her foot, and I want her heel pressing into her butt. What this is doing is, one, I'm crowding her. This is going to make it really hard for her to use this leg to like pop out and get on my hip and start creating space. For me, I want to take away all the space. So I'm here. I've killed this leg effectively. Now I need to worry about this leg. A lot of beginners will get here and they'll just leave too much space. I need to get my grips, so I'm going to get the outside of her pant, or I can just grab her knee if it's no-gi. I'm going to grab her lapel, and I'm going to pull her forward a little and keep everything nice and tight. I need to keep my elbow on top of my thigh and close to my hip, because when it comes time to shift my weight and look for that knee cut pass, when I get here, if my elbow is up high, she's going to be able to sneak that leg in and get her knee shield. This is no good. Go back. Also, if I'm really upright, but let's say my arm is down, I'm blocking her knee, she can still take her foot over my arm, get it onto my chest, and start to keep me away this way. So when I get to my knee cut pass position, I need to have weight on her thigh to pin her leg, facing my foot out, got my grip here, got my hand on her lapel, and I'm down low. I'm tight like a ball, and I'm also trying to make her tight like a ball. So I'm pulling her in, I'm keeping everything nice and tight. From here, my arm is blocking her knee. My shoulder is down low, preventing her foot from coming over the top to get on my chest or to even look for like a lasso guard. And I'm in my passing position now. So let's review that real quick. All the way up. So we're here, bending at the knees, distracting her, knocking her back. I'm going to stuff this foot, close the distance quickly, take away all the space, and pin this heel to her butt. Get my grip on her lapel, or for no-gi, I can always get my hand, put it closer here to her hip. But what I need to do is I need to get her onto her side now as I prepare for my knee cut pass. I'm going to shuffle over and get to here. Your left foot is going to be based out for balance. I'm down low. I'm blocking that knee. I'm not letting the foot come over the top. So from here, there's a couple things that we need to be aware of. One, I need to control Marianne's right arm. I don't want her elbow to be able to touch the mat. So right now it is. And if somebody knows what they're doing, they might try to start to tuck that elbow under them to get onto their side, which is going to be a much better position for her to start to counter or deal with the situation. So I'm here. I'm going to grab the sleeve, or I could always grab the wrist or even behind the elbow. And it's like I'm trying to start a lawnmower. I'm pulling it way up, and I'm not letting her elbow touch the mat anymore. As I start to slide forward, I'm keeping my head down, and my head should be on this side of her body, not over the center line on this side. So I'm here, I'm sliding forward, and as I do, my hand is going to slide in and claim this underhook. This is very important because we don't want her to be able to take our back. If I try this pass and my hand is maybe posted on the mat or something like a beginner might do, she can get this underhook on this side, and now it's just getting her elbow under her, and she's going to come up and take my back. So we're here, we're here. This is where we want to start to be for this pass. I've got my underhook, I'm pushing to keep it, and I'm pulling up on her sleeve to keep her elbow from touching the mat. The last thing I want to be aware of is my head. My head is like the fifth limb that I'm going to use. I want it to be on this side of her head, and I'm going to use it as kind of like a crossface against her jaw here. I want her looking away from me as I slide my leg through to this almost like scarf hold-esque position. Once I'm here, I'm still keeping that arm up. And I'm going to switch my legs. So we pass, we end here. I'm going to switch my legs here. And the reason is because as I come up into a side control position, I never want to let this elbow touch the mat. So I come up and I drape her arm over my thigh so the elbow never touches. I get my cross face with my arm, clasp my hands together. I bring my right knee forward to block her hip, and I settle into side control. And you can see here my shoulder, I could be driving it, helping the cross face, make her look away Very uncomfortable. And we end, obviously, with me above her hips. I've passed her legs. It's now my forelimbs against her two. Much better position for me. Let's go through that one more time. We're here. Give her a little smack on the head to distract her. Bend down at the knees. Lift her up. Grab her by the knuckles of her foot. Press the heel to her butt. Squat down over it and pin it. I'm taking away all of her space. Keeping my elbow tight. Pulling her forward so we're both like a ball. She can't get her legs into the equation right now. I'm going to shuffle to the side to initiate my knee cut pass. Here. I'm not upright where I let her foot come over the top of my shoulder. I'm down low. I'm going to get this sleeve, pull up, and I want to start to pummel my arm in for my underhook. I'm going to use my head as I slide forward to make her look away. So I come out into this position here. Now I'm going to switch my hips. The purpose being to keep this elbow off the mat the whole time. I'm going to let it go. So I get my crossface. Settle into side control. My right knee is blocking her hip to prevent her legs from coming back up. I'm clasping my hands to stay chest to chest. And I'm keeping her elbow here off the mat. Marianne's going to do it for us now. Let's give them another angle. We'll do side. So remember, if you're seated, you're not leaning back like this. You want to be leaning forward, elbows between your knees, ready to engage. Marianne's bending at her knees. She's going to give me a little tap on the forehead. Bend down, grab my feet, knock me over. Now, since she's passing in this direction, which is what most people will do, scoot forward a little. She's going to stuff my right foot and squat down over it. Now, she's going to get a grip on my leg here. And she's either going to get my lapel if we're gi, or she's going to get her hand at my hip if we're no gi, right? And she's going to do a little side shuffle to get me onto my right hip to start to initiate this pass. Now remember, she wants to not be upright. If she's upright, I'll get my foot over to her chest, maybe even some kind of lasso guard. So she's staying low. She's keeping her elbow tight to her hip and her thigh, not letting me get my knee shield. Now she's going to grab my sleeve or my wrist or my elbow, whatever your preference. Part of it's dependent on the gi or not. But she's going to get the grip and she's going to pull up so that I can't get my elbow to the mat. Now, as she starts to initiate the slide through, she's going to pummel that underhook so I can't get it and start to take her back. She's going to use her head to drive forward against my jaw as she slides through and ends up here. Now, she's going to switch her legs, pulling up on my arm and settling into side control and getting her position. Remember, once we control that arm and keep the elbow off the mat, it should never have another chance to get onto the mat. Okay? So that's our basic knee cut pass. Now we're going to look at a quick counter or thing that happens that I feel like people get kind of stuck on. They get very singularly focused and they don't start thinking about chaining counters. They just think about trying to drive forward when maybe it's not the best option. So if Marianne's back down. So remember we talked about keeping this arm really close in and preventing this knee shield. Let's get over just a little bit. So we're here, and I bring her over. Now, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to, everything's nice and tight, she should feel very cramped and unable to get her feet on my hips, unable to start shoulder walking back or shrimping back. She should feel like I'm pulling her into a tight little ball as I'm pulling myself into a tight ball. Where what she wants to do is really kind of elongate and try to create space so she can get her legs between us, square up, reset, and start to look for her open guard game. So a lot of times what will happen is we'll get lazy with this arm. I'm guilty of this myself a lot, where we'll have it up here or something, and she'll just slide this knee at a 45-degree angle, kind of angled into my sternum. Now it's like Marion has this barrier between my chest and her chest, and it's really strong. People get here and they'll start to try to force the issue, and it's a losing battle. Now she has the ability to elongate, to stretch out, and to start getting away from me. A big part of this pass is kind of anchoring her in place so she can't stretch out and can't get away from me. But this shield really ruins my plans. So rather than force the issue or try to make something fit where it doesn't, I'm going to redirect. I've still got my grip here on her knee. I've still got my grip on her lapel or her hip. All I'm going to do is come up and bring her back to her back. Okay? So I'm here, one smooth motion. I'm going to come up a little bit, bring her to her back. Now, I need to bring my left leg here closer to her hip. I'm going to kick my right leg straight back, and I'm using her to balance on. If you feel like you're running out of balance, just lean on your partner a little bit. Okay? I'm still keeping my grip on her pant or her knee. And now my right leg, my right foot is going to come down by her hip. My left foot is going to come out to basin for balance, and I'm going to drop my knee onto her belly. And you notice my grips. This is why the X pass is called the X pass, because my arms are making an X now. My left arm is keeping her legs away, her hips facing the other direction. I'm basing and posting with my arm, and now we've done our X pass. So one more time, let's just go back. The footwork can be a little tricky for beginners. We're in our knee cut pass situation. I got lazy with my arm. She got her knee shield in. So the movement, I'm going to swing her this direction so that she's onto her back rather than her side. So I'm gonna come up a little, and as I swing her, if it was one smooth motion, it would look something like this. So the footwork, we're here. As I come up here, my left foot is going to come in. My right foot is going to kick straight back. Then my right foot comes to her hip, almost right next to my left foot, replacing it in a sense. So my left foot can come back out. I can drop my knee onto her belly and complete the X pass. Marion, you want to get a rep or two in? Okay. We'll do a different angle. So why don't you just start in this squatted position here. So we're here. She's got her grips. She shuffles to the side to initiate the pass, but she got lazy with her arm. I get my knee shield in. Now if she drives forward, I have a very good ability to push against her, to lengthen my body, and to try to, get a foot out, square up with her, and get my feet back between us. So rather than force the issue, she's going to take what she gets. She's going to swing me back onto my back. Now she's going to bring her left foot in, kick her right leg back, drop the right foot beside the left foot, post the left foot out as she comes to her X pass. There you go. Good. One more time. Let's do it from the very beginning now. So we're here, up on the head, knocks me back. Let's go forward a little. Now, when she grabs my foot, she's grabbing the knuckles over the top of the foot. Other way. There you go. Not the ankle. She's stuffing it. She's taking away all the space. She's squatting down. Now I'm cramped. I'm feeling claustrophobic. She's anchoring so that I can't squirm away now. She's got this grip, or she's got a hand on my hip, feeling my hips. She's going to shuffle to the side she's passing. Here. Now she got lazy. Have my knee in. I have some light. But it's no matter, because rather than force it, she's going to redirect. She's going to go back here, kick her foot back, replace it, knee on belly, and now she's over my hips. Let's actually go through it one more time. There's a couple other little finer points I want to touch on. So one thing to keep in mind if you're really new to jiu-jitsu, sometimes I get the question, which foot should I have forward? If you are right-handed, but you like to do striking like boxing or kickboxing, they'll a lot of times teach you to stand forward with your left foot. Grappling's a little different. We tend to stand forward right foot if we're right-handed with our dominant side. Developing both sides takes a little more work, so we tend to focus on our dominant side at first. So I'm right foot forward. I'm squatting down low like in a wrestling stance, not bending at the waist. I'm going to give her a little distraction, a little head bump. So I reach down, grab her feet, knock her under her back. I'm going to stuff that heel to her butt, squat down over it so she's cramped. I go to my grips. I look for my X pass. This is what, my knee cut pass. This is what it would look like if I was doing it correctly, but I didn't. My arm was too high. Knee shield. So I'm gonna redirect back to the middle, and we're gonna go here. Now, a lot of times as we get to here, they might hook this right leg of mine. So she might get like an inside de la Hiva or something to try to control this right leg. That's why it's really important that when we do this pass, it's not like I'm just kind of like lackadaisically pulling this leg out, coming around and trying to get to where I need to go. It's almost like a mule kick in a way. I'm here, and it's like a big burst, a big kick, way back, because she's probably gonna be trying to control that leg to a degree. Foot comes back down, step out, drop the knee, end up in my X pass. From here, there's a lot of ways you could go. We've got a baseball bat choke. We could always just settle into side control, or just ride this knee on belly for a while and tire him out. So those are the two guard passes for this week, guys. These are two of my bread and butter passes. They work really well together because core technique with the knee cut leads very naturally to the recovery or the counter with the X pass. So definitely try to work on these, work them into your game. If you do the X pass right, the knee cut pass right, you shouldn't have to go to the X pass, but it's there, in case you need to bail yourself out or just keep making the position dynamic and not getting so fixated on that singular one thing I have to do no matter what. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. In stream?
Yeah, you can move it. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.